Hey folks, Tony from Tacoma, Washington. Today we're going to talk about this Lumintop Td16 flashlight. I was contacted by Lumintop and asked to do a review, and they gave me an 80% discount off this flashlight to do this review. So here's the packaging. Comes with a flashlight, the carrying lanyard, some spare O-rings, a spare clicky cap, and a lanyard. The flashlight itself, pretty nice flashlight, pretty substantial flashlight. It did come with a diffuser cap that's not listed on the website, but at first impressions, I'm pretty impressed. It's a well-made, heavy-duty thrower kind of flashlight. Some things that I really like about it so far. I just like the appearance. Something that I think is pretty striking is I like the crenulated bezel in stainless steel with the stainless steel side switch cover, and then a stainless steel clicky cover. All strike covers. To me, it's a very impressive looking flashlight. Okay, let's talk about the price just for a second. This light normally costs about $100. It's about $99.98 on Amazon. On Cyber Monday only, they were selling the light for $70, but that's come and gone. I got the light for 80% off, so I paid about $20 or $21 delivered. And as a special offer to my customers, the Lumintop is offering a 20% discount on the light. So if you buy the light for the regular price of around $100, 20% off should get it to you for about 80 bucks. You use the code Luminto1 during checkout. That's LUMINTO 1 during checkout. Okay, and while we're talking price, I want to talk to you about this. My light did come with this diffuser. This is not listed on their website, and my light also came with a Lumintop 3400 milliamp battery, which I thought was a pretty good deal. So for 80 bucks with the battery included, I think it's an outstanding deal. While we're here and I got the light so much disassembled, I want to talk about just the build quality. The build quality in my mind is exceptional. Now, I've never had a Lumintop light before. I've done quite a few EAGTAC lights and Phoenix lights. As a matter of fact, one of the lights we're going to do a comparison against is this EAGTAC P200 LC2. But in my mind, the build quality of this Lumintop is superior to the EAGTAC. The heaviness of the anodized aluminum and the finish, I just think is superior. The stainless steel bezels and just the feel of the light, it's just a quality light. It's very heavy duty. While we're here, you know, we have square cut threads, good polished stainless steel for the contacts. Again, just a high quality light. Okay, next up, I've got a few pages from the Lumintop website. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with it. You can use your pause button if you want to see this stuff more clearly. Description of the accessories that the website shows that you get. Again, I want to point out that I did get the diffuser and the battery along with this stuff. And I want to point out this flashlight comes with two emitter heads. The first one is an XM-L2 U-tube that puts out 1,000 lumens and 310 meters of throw. A light that I'll be reviewing is the XPL High emitter, which is an enhanced version of the original that puts out 920 lumens of brightness but 450 meters of throw. And again, here's some more documentation from the Lumintop website. This is a comparison between the two emitter heads. Not going to spend much time here, but you can use your pause button if you want to stop and look at something more closely. Okay, let's talk about the operation of this light. It's very simple and straightforward. To turn the light off and on, you simply use the tail cap, press it, light comes on. The side switch will cycle through the brightness levels. There's 3 brightness levels, low, medium, and high. So this is low, medium, high. If you hold it for a long click, it goes into strobe mode. and then another short click slows it down to a slower strobe, and then another click slows it down to a very slow strobe. And then to just turn it off, it's again, just use the end cap. Okay, so now we know how to use the light. Let's talk about when to use this light. This is a pretty big light. It's big for me anyway. If you've looked at some of my other videos, you'll know that I'm a pocket carry guy. I like a light about this size. I carry it in my left front pocket all the time. This was one of my EDC lights. I'm actually carrying just a slightly smaller light right now. But this is the size light that I really lean to. I want a light that I can put in my pocket, leave in my pocket. It's part of my everyday carry. I have it with me all the time. This light is simply too big for that. So what would prompt a person to have a light this size? Well, needless to say, this is a thrower. As we said previously, it puts out 920 lumens, but 450 meters of throw. Again, how do you use that? For the most part, most of the stuff I illuminate is either indoors, or if it's outdoors, it's relatively short distances, less than 50 yards. Sometimes I'll take my dogs to the park and I need to see out further, maybe up to 100 yards. I'll be throwing the ball for them at night. I need to see where they are and where the ball went. This little light runs out. If I throw the ball 60, 70, 80 yards, I can't see the tennis ball that far with this light. Here's the difference. This thrower is simply amazing. If you need to see things far away, this is the guy. I don't have a place around my house where I can look at things 450 meters away. The biggest play field I have is 280 yards long, and this illuminated it with no problem. There's two soccer fields side by side, or end to end, I should say, and so the total distance from one goal post all the way to the other goal post is 280 yards, and this lit up the far goal post very clearly. So when you need to see things at distance, this is your guy. Now it's a little bit big. You're not going to put this in your left front pocket, but it's a nice compact size to tuck into a jacket pocket or to put in the carrying lanyard. I'm not a lanyard guy, but I guess if I had a need, if I had something I needed to do on a regular basis where I needed to see things at distance, I probably could get used to the lanyard. When I used this light in testing, it was a rainy, stormy night. I was wearing a jacket. This tucked into my jacket real easily. I didn't even know it was there. Again, this is what I normally carry in my left front pocket. It's been doing a great job for me. I didn't think that I would be interested in a light like this. And truthfully, I would have never bought this light for myself had Lumintop not made me such an amazing offer of 80% off to do the review on the light. Now that I've got it and I've spent some time with it, I'm kind of amazed. I'm starting to see more and more uses for a light like this. My wife already wants to steal it from me. She has one of my pocket-sized lights that she leaves near the door, so when the dogs are playing in the backyard at night, she can shine a light on them and see what they're doing. She already wants to replace this light, a light similar to this, with this, because it just, for that kind of work where you don't need it to be in your pocket, the additional size of this really comes in handy. It fits your hand quite nice. You're not likely to knock it over as you're picking it up. When you shine the beam is, boy, it really lights up great in the backyard. So this light has a lot of purposes that I would have never known about had Lumintop not made me the offer to get the light. So anyway, let's go forward. Okay, I want to get right into showing you some beam patterns of this light inside as the light moves across the room. So here's the TD16 just shining across my living room. You can see how incredibly bright it is. My camera has trouble staying in focus with it being this bright. Next up is that pocket light, the EAGTAC P200LC2. Actually puts out more lumens, but it has a more floody beam, so it only throws about 200 meters. But I think for inside the house work, it's a much more comfortable beam to look at. Let's look at those two beams just stationary on the blinds. First up is the Lumintop Td16. And you can see that it creates a spot almost like the sun. And the next up is that EAGTAC pocket light, the P200LC2. It's a much floodier beam. It's a little difficult to tell on video, but it's quite a bit floodier. And here's those two lights side by side. The Lumintop is on the right, the EAGTAC is on the left, and you can see from this picture just how much more floody the EAGTAC is. Okay, next up I wanted to give you a comparison of what it would be like if you were actually clearing a room or searching your house behind the Lumintop Td16, trying to follow that extremely bright center beam throughout the house. And here it is. You can just see how bright and small that center beam is inside of the house. Okay, next up is that pocket light, the EAGTAC P200LC2. Much floodier beam. It's much more comfortable to search the house and be behind this with the floodier beam. It's less bright center image, and floodier beam just makes it more comfortable to search the house and do this kind of work. So in my opinion, the Lumintop Td16 is just too narrow of a beam and too much of a thrower to work well indoors. But let's take this light outside and see how it does in a tactical role. So now we're at the play field. We've got a target set up 130 yards away. We're looking at it through a 6-power Weaver scope, and we're illuminating that target with the TD16. You can see how bright and clear the image is. This light could easily illuminate a target, probably out to 200 or 250 meters easily. And conversely, that pocket light, the EAGTAC P200LC2, at that same 130 meter distance, just can't get the job done. You can barely see the target. It's at the extreme limits of its capabilities. Okay, here we are outside. And the first light I'm going to show you is this EAGTAC P200LC2. It puts out about 1120 lumens, but it's got kind of a floody beam. There's a lighthouse tower that you see flashing out there, and that tower is 250 yards away. And this little light can do good. Right about there, there's a white picket fence. That white picket fence is about 120 yards away. And this light through the camera can just get that illuminated a little bit. Okay, now we're switching over to the Lumintop Td16. And you can just see immediately how much tighter that beam is. But there's that white picket fence that the EAGTAC was struggling to illuminate. It's clearly illuminated with the Lumintop. And then moving out, there is the lighthouse tower about 250 yards away. Now the video is not doing a great job of showing how well that's illuminated with this light, but it is lit up like a floodlight is shining on it. So this light at 250 yards isn't struggling a bit. Now unfortunately, Puget Sound is on the other side of that lighthouse, so I can't show you anything else. But the whole lighthouse park is lit up with this light. So this light's just doing a fantastic job out to 250 yards. Again, the lighthouse is 250. The white picket fence is about 120. Up and through here is about 100. And so, you know, at 30-40 yards, it's a pretty tight beam. As you move out to about 100, now you've got a light that's bright enough and wide enough to be really effective. And then when you get out to 200 to 250 yards, that's where it really lights up a nice wide area. This is really an awesome thrower. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Let's do some pros and cons. All right, this is a tactical light. It's a tactical thrower. I haven't spent much time with the light. Again, I've only been testing it for a few days. I haven't spent a lot of time with it. I'm impressed. One of the pros is the build quality. I think it has an exceptional high build quality. When I would compare this against EAGTAC or Phoenix, I would put the build quality of this light above those. This light is very good. as a thrower. To me, that means in the 100-yard range. This light lives between 100 yards and 300 yards. If it's closer than 100 yards, the tightness of the beam can be a problem. You may not illuminate enough of an image. In my opinion, inside the house, this is just too tight of a beam. It gives you too bright of a hotspot, so inside the house it actually hurts your eyes, it's so bright. And it gives you too tight of a beam. Outside, I would say from 10 yards to 50 yards, the beam is too pinpointed. It's too small of a hotspot to really see what you want to see. When I take my dogs to the park and I'm trying to follow them with the beam, within 50 yards it's just a little bit too tight. A light like this puts out more lumens, but it's a floodier beam, does a better job. So in my way of thinking, this light for inside the house and for outside up to 50 yards, 60, 70 yards, this is a great tool. Beyond that, that's where this light takes over. Again, I'm going to make a general statement from 100 yards to 300 yards. This is where this light lives. It probably, over 50 yards, depending on what you're trying to illuminate. But clearly, if you're looking for a man-sized target, this will easily illuminate a human being up to 300 yards. So that's where this light lives. Okay, some of the cons about this light. Let's just start with the pocket clip. The pocket clip is way too strong. It's almost impossible to get an article of clothing underneath of this. It's just way too strong. If I was going to use this light, I'm not sure. The pocket clip actually gives you a little traction in your hand, so I kind of like that. It's not real usable as a pocket clip, but it is usable to grab a hold of. The Lumintop website says that they did away with the knurling on the barrel of the TD16 because, for whatever reason, they didn't think it was necessary. They may be right. This light feels great in your hand. This rubber tactical ring and the way the light fits in your hand, you really get a good purchase on the light. So that's a pro. Could this light have benefited from some knurling like on some of the other Lumintop models? I can't say, but it's a little smooth, so that might be a con. I think a little knurling might have been a good thing. The other con I have, it's actually a pro and a con. This light has the ability to be locked out, meaning if you loosen either the tail cap or the head just slightly, the light will turn off. And let me demonstrate that. So we turn the light on. Now I've got it in flashing mode. Okay, here we go. Now we're in low mode. So if I turn the tail cap just slightly, it locks the light out. And if I turn the head just slightly, it locks the light out. So being able to lock the light out is very much a benefit, because if you put this wherever you put it, in your glove box or you're carrying it in your bag or whatever, you don't want the light to come on accidentally. Now this light has a great tactical tail switch, and how you would activate that accidentally, I don't know. But I've done it with these lights, so I know it is possible. So being able to lock the light out, I see as a benefit. But the downside of this is that it is so easy to deactivate the light. I think it's almost too easy. The threads are so precisely machined, and it turns on those threads so easily. It's so easy to deactivate this light. I think it might be too easy. So if I was in a tactical situation and I was really depending on this light to come on when I hit the tail cap, turning this just slightly is all it takes to deactivate the light. I see that as a con. So not only can you deactivate the light if the threads move at the tail cap, You can also deactivate the light if the head moves even slightly. So just a slight twist is all it takes to deactivate the light. Now, I became aware of this when I first unboxed the light. I couldn't get it to turn on. And you know, it had one of those battery keepers. You have to take it apart and take the little tab off the battery. So I did that, put it all back together. I was hitting the tactical switch. I couldn't get it to turn on. And what it turned out to be was the head was slightly loose, and because it wasn't making contact, it wouldn't come on. So again, the ability to have a lockout, that's definitely a pro. Having it this easy to deactivate the light and having it in 2 positions, I see that as a con. So those are the cons. Again, this is a great light. I think if you get the battery for 80 bucks, and you need a thrower, this is a great light. The only other thing I found that I haven't really liked is that this stainless steel cap at the end of the light comes loose, and it wouldn't take much in vibration to get it to actually come loose from the light. I could repair that with a little bit of blue Loctite, and that's probably what I'll end up doing. But again, I don't think for this quality of a light that this ring should be secured in place somehow. So those are my 3 cons. The clip, the lack of knurling, and the ability to deactivate the light, lock it out so easily, and then perhaps this stainless steel end cap bezel. Other than that, I mean, there's so many pros. This is such a high quality light. This is, to me, this is the highest quality light I've been involved with. If you need an application where you need a thrower, you need a light to light stuff up 100 yards out, this is your guy. Like I said, you could easily light up a man-sized target at 300 yards. This is just a great light. So that's it. I don't know what else to say. You're in the market for a light that can illuminate tennis balls and dogs and people or whatever you need out to about 100 yards to 300 yards, this is your guy. And I think with the battery, with the diffuser for 80 bucks, I don't know that you can do much better than that. Anyway, Tony from Tacoma, Washington, my review of the Lumintop Td16. Have a great day. And just in case you missed Old Glory, there she is. God bless America.